Hygiene is super important in sex work, which is why we've partnered with Hero Soap Company, all natural soaps with no chemicals, dyes, fragrances, or parabens, which the FDA cites for being found in breast cancer biopsy and causes male reproductive problems. Hero Soap Company is veteran-owned and operated, handmade in Arizona in the beautiful USA. Subscribe for a monthly delivery of soap straight to your door every month, and for every bar purchase in a subscription, we match and send the troops a peppermint cool soap to tingle their nuts for the first time during deployment. Use my code SIA at checkout for 10% off. Let freedom clean. Hey guys, welcome back to Strip by Sia, your podcast for strippers, sex workers, and all the naked people. And yeah, my voice is croaky today because I still have lost my voice. So if you noticed for the past couple episodes, I sound like a frog. That's why. But who cares about my voice? We have the lovely angelic voice of Rosie today, who's joining us on the show.
Hi guys.
Yay! She came all the way here from Calgary. I would like to say, yes, she came all the way from Calgary just for the podcast, but no, she's here working, so yay! So excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yay. It's been so long since I last saw you, because I think the last time I saw you was like last summer during the Stampede or something.
Yeah. Were you at PSO? I think you're at PSO.
Oh, on PSO too, yeah. That one. And that wasn't too long ago.
No,
too,
like
so
November-ish.
And your routine was fucking fire, girl!
Thank you.
Oh my god. So PSO, guys, is Pole Sport Organization. No, we're not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor me, please do. It's a competition that's here in Vancouver. Also coming up in March, which we're kind of pre-recording this. So by the time this airs, it'll be over. And yeah, me and Rosie are actually competing against each other, which is going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm nervous though.
Oh my god, no,
Phoenix is good. Everyone's so good.
Oh, we were just talking about you. So yeah, Sydney, guys, Phoenix Rose is also in this round as well in her category. Yeah. And we're just like, holy shit, Rosie's so good.
Oh no.
We're like, we would both be honored to lose to her, like, amazeballs.
Awesome.
Because when I met you at Robbie's studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, damn, you're really good. And then I saw you PSO, I'm like, damn, you fucking improved in like 6 months, like so much.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
so.
I actually got into pole dancing at Tantra Fitness.
There we go.
Yeah, before I started stripping, before I started everything.
Okay.
So I started doing pole dancing at Tantra.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of doing it for fun. And when I moved to Calgary, I couldn't find any pole studios, and so I took an entire year off.
Oh my
gosh.
Then
after like a year, I really wanted to get back into it, and I just Googled it, and Robbie's studio came up because they had just opened.
They just opened, yeah.
So I started going there, and it's been awesome.
Oh my god. If you guys are listening, Our Song Studios, shout out to Robbie!
Yeah, we love Our Song.
So good.
Super sex worker friendly, which I love.
Yes,
so
which
supportive.
is amazing. Super, super amazing. Okay, so well, I don't know anything about you actually, except the time that you were like, I don't know, hey, I used to dance at Tantra, and I'm a sex worker, and I do this, and then I was at PSO, and that's as much as I know about you. But we follow each other on Instagram, but I guess since you started pole dancing before you started stripping, so you got them skills. So why don't you go talk about that, your training and stuff, and how you got into it, and I guess just for fun turned into a job.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yay.
Well, I actually grew up doing very competitive dance. I danced at the Go Ballet in Vancouver.
Oh
so
my gosh.
I'm from Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my fuck. Oh my god. Okay, mind blown.
Yeah, I
Vancouver
grew up on the Sunshine Coast actually.
Love the Sunshine Coast.
I love the Sunshine Coast, but I went to high school in Victoria.
Oh my god.
And then I moved
everywhere
back to New Westminster for university.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then I just moved to. I've been in Calgary for 2 years. 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been around, and you have a dance background.
Yeah.
A huge dance background.
Yeah, I did a ton of ballet. I went to the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. And
oh my gosh.
Ballet, and I did like jazz and contemporary and tap and
all the things.
Everything for like my entire life.
Okay, because I was like, that kind of flexibility is like not normally achieved.
Yeah. It was years of my mom making me sit there and stretch when I wanted to go out and hang out with my friends. I had to do stretching exercises instead if I wanted to be a good dancer. But now I'm a professional dancer, so
yes,
it all worked out.
It all worked out. How long were you training in ballet and all these other, I guess, movements and types of dance?
I took ballet when I was really young, and I took a little bit of a break from it, and when I went back to it, I started taking it really seriously.
Oh, wow.
And I went to the summer intensive at the Go Ballet, and I loved it so much.
Wow.
So I went a few more times. I did the Nutcracker.
Oh my gosh.
At the Go Ballet.
Classic.
Yeah, and
So
then I went
nice.
and trained at the Royal Winnipeg as well for a little bit. But after high school, it's really hard to dance and make any money from it. So I kind of just stopped after high school.
Wow.
And yeah, it was interesting, but I kind of wanted to take something up that wasn't dance, but that was still all about like movement and like strength. And that's when I started doing pole dancing.
Oh,
so I thought it was really like fun and interesting.
Yeah.
So I thought I would try that instead, and I ended up loving it.
Yeah.
And I have
Amazing.
not really stopped since. So
Yeah, well, it definitely shows, and as I said earlier, your improvement has just like skyrocketed.
yeah,
It's been amazing.
even at Tantra, I kind of went from being really nervous to try new things, and then when I went back and tried it again, I kind of just embraced it. And I was like, I know it hurts, but if I keep doing it over and over again, my skin will toughen up and I'll be able to do it.
Yes.
So I did that, and
Okay.
yeah, I've definitely progressed like very quickly in the
Very
past little
quickly.
like year, I guess. So.
Yeah, totally. Amazing. And like, it's pole, guys, is like not easy.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
It's very, very hard to like. Did you play any other sports as well, or is it
No.
just all dance? Well,
Dance.
dance is hard
Anything.
as well.
Yeah.
because it's a lot of work and conditioning on your body and stuff too. And like, I guess what your mom was doing too is just really trying to strengthen you up.
Yeah, my mom
Stretching
was a
every
dancer
day.
and my grandma was a dancer, so
Oh,
my whole
wow.
family is very dance sort of athletic.
Oh
So
my
I kind of
gosh.
just grew up in that sort of environment. My grandma actually used to be a burlesque dancer.
Oh wow! Back in the day,
Yeah.
that's so incredible.
Yeah, it's really fun. I haven't told her I'm a stripper though.
No, I think most parents, I mean, unless you have really fucking cool parents and cool family, they usually would die a little bit.
Yeah. I actually told my mom.
How did
Last
that go?
week.
Last week?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so
I know,
recent.
and I just told her over the phone
Oh my
because she
God.
kind of brought. I told her I was go-go dancing.
Yeah.
So in Alberta, we have go-go dancers that like dance at the strip club.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I told her I was doing that, and then she was like, "Be careful if someone wants you to come and sit down and like talk to someone." And I was like,
Actually.
"So about that, I actually that's my job."
That is my real job.
Yeah, and I don't think she even understood what it really entailed. So she was
Right.
like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." I'll talk to her more about it.
Yeah, I was
later.
gonna ask you, would you ever have that conversation with her? Is she really
Yeah, I'll probably.
conservative, or?
No, my parents are pretty liberal. My dad's like an artist, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, they were in the film industry for a while, and they're pretty artsy. So
I feel like they should
I'll tell
understand.
them. Yeah,
Or they
I'm gonna
would.
tell them. Probably when I'm back for BSO, I'll talk to them.
Yeah, totally. Because that's always tricky too. Because like, I think my dad knows. Like, he kind of had a conversation with me, but like, didn't really explicitly say anything.
Yeah.
And then my mom kind of, I think, knows that I dance at a club. I think she thinks it's like go-go dancing or something like that. I'm like, no, that's not it. And she's not like really understanding. And I also don't really want to tell her because she's like super conservative and like
Yeah.
Catholic. she would like die. So I'm like, I don't want to go there. But that's cool though. Did you have any siblings?
No,
or
I'm an only child.
Oh, you are? Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
did you tell your sister, your brother? Like,
No, I wish, but no, I'm an only child. It's probably
Aw.
what got me all of my dance kind of things that my parents were able to put all the effort into
Yeah.
sending me to dance camps rather than having to deal with multiple children.
spreading
so-
that out, right?
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
fun, but
So what got you into stripping then? Was it just like a natural progressive movement kind
yeah,
of thing? You're like,
sort of.
I have the skill, might as well make money off of it.
Pretty much. I've wanted to be a stripper forever.
Yes.
Like since high
Yes.
school, I've always knew that I was going to like try
Go that
it
way.
at least one day, and as soon as I tried it, it was like, that's it. This
Yeah,
is the best
like,
job ever.
This is it.
Yeah.
So did you start then in Vancouver, or did you start when you
I started when I moved to
Calgary?
Calgary.
Oh, okay, so pretty new
yeah,
then.
I was working at a bar out there, and I was making lots of tips, and it was really great, and I went in, and I was like, this seems really fun, but I did a ton of research.
Good.
I, went on so many stripper forums before I started. I listened to so many stripper podcasts before I started.
Okay.
I actually listened to Strippers with Anxiety.
Yes, yeah. Jennifer's amazing.
I love that podcast. It's so fun.
So
and I was
good.
like, this is so much fun and this industry sounds so interesting. So I went in and applied. But in Calgary, we have go-go dancers and strippers at the same club. So the go-go dancers, you don't need a license.
Oh, wait, what?
In Alberta, you need a license to be a stripper.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, slow down. Wait, what? Okay. What does a license entail? Like, that you are legally allowed to, strip for people?
Yeah, it's like an exotic dancer license, and it's issued by City Hall. I have to go and tell the lady that I want to be an exotic dancer, and they, fill out whatever forms, and I get a license that has, my photo on it.
Oh, my God.
And I have to keep it on me at the club when I'm, working.
Whoa,
yeah,
it's
really
so
interesting.
different. It's so structured.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of find that go-going is a good first step. So I go-goed for about 2 weeks when I was waiting for my license to come in, but I knew for sure that I didn't want to be a go-go dancer.
Yeah, you're like, no.
They obviously don't get paid minimum wage, but so they only work for tips, and they dance for 5 hours straight on the go-go poles. They're not allowed very many breaks, and they just dance for 5 hours.
That's more work.
It's a ton of work, and you can make a lot of money, but it's tiring. And I think I make more money as a stripper, and I just sit there half the time. So.
Yeah, sitting half the time, doing stage shows the other half the time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, okay, wait, go-go dancing, that wouldn't be the same as, say, go-go dancers at the strip, where they can also kind of VIP? They can't VIP
you
at all?
You can VIP if you have a license.
Oh,
so sometimes some of the go-go dancers don't want to do stage shows, and they'll just go-go and then sell dances, but it's kind of cheating, I think.
Yeah, it is totally cheating.
They're sitting there getting tips from everybody, and they can do private dances, so it's kind of double dipping.
Totally double dipping.
Although, it's whoever's hustle.
Yeah, kudos to you.
I don't know. It definitely, it makes more sense to do that, but I think overall it's kind of cheating.
Definitely. So I guess you never did amateur night or anything here.
No, I always wanted to. And I actually tried to apply at the Paramount in New Westminster.
Oh my gosh, that's
I used to
live
club. up in those condo buildings above it. And I went in and I was so drunk one night. And I was like, I want to work here. And they told me to come back on Friday, and I was like, I can't come back. So I never went back. And
oh my God.
It's so interesting how different it is.
So different. And that club is different too, because it's no alcohol. It's the one stage full kind of thing there
yeah,
too.
It's interesting.
So I guess, okay, so what was your audition process? Was there an audition process?
There was no audition process.
You just signed up to City Hall?
Well, I went and talked to the manager. He put in all the information to kind of get my contact and whatever. They paid for my license, because you have to pay, I believe it's $250.
Oh, wow. So it is like a business license. Yeah. It literally is.
Yeah.
What? This is incredible.
Yeah. It's really, and you have to renew it every year. So I have to renew mine probably coming up the next month or two.
Oh my God.
I have to go and renew it.
Crazy.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's like a driver's license. It's like a
license. Exactly.
That's such an interesting structure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So. And the clubs in Alberta you can't touch or anything.
Oh, good.
So I do find they're a lot different than working in Vancouver. I know not all the clubs here are contact, but they're very strictly no contact in Alberta.
Okay, so no contact at all the clubs or just certain clubs?
It's supposed to be all of them, but I know there's a few in Edmonton and everything that kind of bend the rules a little bit.
There always are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But the clubs that I work at, it's different than a lot of the girls because I'm not on the circuit. I don't travel.
Okay.
So there's 4 clubs in Calgary, and 3 of them are owned by the same company.
Okay.
It's called FME, French Made Entertainment, I believe.
French Made.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What are these names?
Right. And they own 3 clubs.
Okay.
And I dance at all 3 of those clubs, but I don't work for independent, so I don't travel. Okay. I work for this other company.
Nice.
So we're supposed to be house girls, so we stay at those home clubs, and we like rotate between the 3, but I don't have to go anywhere else.
I like that.
Which is really nice because I'm in school and I do not want to leave. No. I enjoy staying in Calgary.
Yeah, for sure. I guess those clubs that aren't owned by the FME or whatever, that's like Boudoir Rouge and stuff like that.
Yeah, Boudoir, ESQ, and Cat House.
Okay. I have been to Boudoir Rouge. Last time I was at the Calgary Stampede. Yeah. It's actually pretty nice in there.
I do. It's really like nice. Boudoir.
It's like velvet, like plush, like beautiful.
Yeah, they try to make it kind of like a nightclub to really attract more people, and I really like working there because of the environment. Mm-hmm. It gets super busy on Friday and Saturday nights where it's just packed. Yeah. And it's kind of like a fun place to work because it is a nightclub, but you have like stage shows. It feels like music and
totally
super fun.
Because when I went there, it was like freaking lit. Like, I don't know if it was just because it was Calgary Stampede weekend, but it was like freaking lit. I was like, what is this place?
Yeah, Stampede's pretty crazy.
That's like another story. Okay, so going back to those clubs, are there like distinctive different like vibes in each one, like how it is in Vancouver?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Break it down for us.
They're very different. So Boudoir I find is a nightclub with strippers, and then ESQ is probably the second, I'm gonna say like nicest, and it's definitely more of a strip club.
Okay, like classic. Yeah, kind of strip club vibes.
And then Cat House is a whole nother. It's probably the most rundown out of all of them, and there's like not a lot of like rules. I love the manager, but he's not really on the floor that often, and everybody just kind of hangs out in the DJ booth, and it's definitely a little bit more kind of loose there, versus Boudoir is like very strict.
Very strict.
The manager is like super awesome, and he DJs as well, so he'll stand at the DJ booth and he'll pretty much watch everything that's going on.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Intense.
Another thing that's way different than the clubs here is we pay our dances. We have to bring them in through the till.
Oh my god, it's like a restaurant.
Yeah, and we get a receipt, and then they pay us at the end of the night.
Oh.
What they owe us based on like how many like little chits we have.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. That's a really cool system, though. So that's a really good way of keeping track, though.
It is a really good way of keeping track. And it's nice because I can keep them for taxes. So I have all of my receipts for the floor fee that I pay, and I can keep track of all my income. Yeah. And I've kept all of my receipts. I'm very anal about making sure that I keep everything.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good habit, too, because then here it's kind of difficult to do that, especially you can't do that for dances, like, at all. Yeah. Like, if you're on stage, you have, like, your little envelope of, like, you know, how many dances, feature dances you do, like, per night, or per week, actually, per week. But that's pretty much the only thing, like, you have to kind of mentally keep track of everything, which can be kind of crazy. So, yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out for this week. This year, too. I was like, the taxes are coming up. I know. I was like, damn. Okay, so it is structured there a lot, it sounds like.
Yeah, and we sell dances by like 5-minute increments.
Oh, okay.
So like a 5-minute dance is $30.
Whoa.
So it goes up, so a 10-minute dance would be $60, and then it goes up in 5-minute and $30 increments.
What's your tip out?
We keep $18 of every $30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Seems like it's like less than...
Yeah.
Your face is like, yes. Because at number 5, it's like $50, but then you keep $35.
Yeah.
And then at Penthouse, it's like $40 a dance, and then you just tip out $5, so it's the same.
Yeah. So, I find it's really interesting how different everywhere is. So when it comes to that, they definitely take a decent chunk, and we also pay a $45 floor fee on top of them taking everything.
Even as a feature? Oh my god. Well, actually, yeah, that makes sense.
But then we get paid like per show as well, per stage show.
Right, same
but
with us.
Usually I'll have 2 to 3 shows a night, and we get paid like $45 per show, but then we also pay them $45 as a floor fee. So if I do one show, that covers my floor fee, or if I do 2 shows, then I'm getting $45.
Yeah. Interesting. Does that increase, like, for the stage shows, increase as you kind of get more popular or anything like that?
Sort of. They said that they're going to revamp the whole system
Structure?
kind of coming up, but right now it's kind of based on if you have, like, costumes and, like, promo to play games with.
Yes.
Because fun thing about Calgary strip clubs is the loonie game.
Yes. I was going to wait to bring that up. Like, when do we want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
It is very interesting. And that was one thing I saw at Boudoir Rouge. Like, I heard about it. And I was like, no, that sounds awful. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. Mm-hmm. I'm just, like, scared. Like, I know you can make a lot of money that way, but it's just, like, I'm scared for those, like, idiots that would just, like, freaking whip it.
Yeah, I have some people that are super aggressive and, like, throw them, but... Okay, so pretty much what the loonie game is...
Oh, yeah, sorry, guys. Let's talk about the loonie game.
We call it like just playing games on stage, so depending on what it is, I usually will take one of my posters and like roll it up into like a cone, sort of, and then just hold it out, and then you can throw loonies like into the cone.
Yeah.
Some people put one like on their butt, and then you have to like knock it off or like something like that, which I don't want someone throwing coins at me.
No.
So I like rolling up a poster, and then I can put it over here, and it's not going to be like at me, it's into the poster, but I have a couple people that like throw it into the poster and then will like throw one at me.
Oh my god.
You're
like, goodbye.
Yeah.
You do not belong here.
Or the people that throw
awful.
like quarters.
Oh my fucking god.
I will like take them out and like throw them back at them.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I'll like take them out and like sort through and go through and take out all the quarters and like put it back on their side of the thing, and I'll be like, I think you might need those more than I do.
There you go. Get to poke fun at it.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable at all.
Yeah, I was honestly really nervous before I started working in Calgary because I heard about that, and I heard that there's all these horror stories of people throwing them, and
totally.
Yeah, I did not play for the longest time.
Yeah.
It's only within the past maybe month or two that I started doing it, because and my best friend who's I work with she absolutely hates it.
Yeah, well, and this is a totally Albertan thing. Like, I've never heard of this anywhere else.
Nowhere, except for Calgary and Red Deer, pretty much.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre to me. And, like, I have read those horror stories. I've heard of them. Like, I heard people, like, light up their coins.
That's what I heard.
And, you know what, that can cause some permanent damage. And, like, even if you're not, heating up a coin or anything like that, like, if people are just whipping it, that's fucking hard. It's painful.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, like, how does that make you feel that something, like, this long-standing tradition, if you call it that, is still a thing? Like,
I think they could easily not do it anymore and people would forget about it.
Yeah.
I know that there are a lot of people that specifically actually come to the club because they want to play that, like, those type of games. They'll bring people from out of town because it's such a unique thing to Calgary and to Alberta, but
novelty.
They could easily not allow it anymore, and people would forget about it so quickly.
Totally.
It is. I think the only real benefit from it is people don't realize how much they're throwing.
Yeah.
If they have a whole bunch of loonies, it just looks so easy. So I'll make an extra like $200 a night from playing sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's worth it, but it's also not at the same time.
Like, do you think it's degrading? Do you think it...
I think it, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it can be. I think it can be fun, or I think it can be degrading. And I think it really depends on, like, who you are and how you're playing, and also who the customers are.
Totally.
Because some people are really nice about it, and it's kind of a fun thing, and if you're having fun and you're doing it in a safe way, it can be fun. But when you have drunk guys that are just, like, throwing change, like, and on the stage too, people who don't know will just take handfuls of loonies and just throw them, like, onto the stage mid-show.
Oh my fucking
And I'm like, I am gonna break my ankle slipping on these.
That's happened to me at Penthouse. Some of the guys throwing coins on there. We actually had to stop my set, and then, like, the DJ had to, like, bring that guy out and be like, this is not acceptable!
Yeah.
She can slip on that shit!
Yeah.
No!
No, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this one guy just throw a handful of loonies on the stage. And I was like,
God. You go, guy. You go.
Yeah, seriously.
What other games do you guys do there, too? Like,
That's pretty much the other, like, the only one, but you can really, like, switch up how you want to play. You can roll it up or try to knock them off your butt or something.
Do they really press you to have merchandise to sell, like magnets, lighters, posters?
It's not mandatory, but they do keep track of who does it and who doesn't.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So it's more bookability, I suppose. Like, if you have promo, they'll want to have you back more?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It is interesting, and it's very much, if you have costumes, if you have promo, if you're going to be playing games, if you're going to do that, you're more likely to get better shows. You're more likely to just, like, be, like, have, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, the managers would definitely, they notice.
Oh, that's so different. Mm-hmm. I mean, here, like, it just depends really on the clubs.
Yeah. Like,
Brandy's will have really big shows. The Granville Strip will have really, really big shows. Number 5 is just, like, dance around in lingerie and twerk, which I like.
Yeah, I like that, too.
And then Penthouse is a really good, like, happy medium, which is, like, my thing, because it's really cash. But, like, because I find, like, the big feature shows are kind of diminishing a bit. You don't really... I don't know how it is in Alberta, but, like, do you find that, you know, people aren't doing that or not investing as much in that?
I think years ago, the independent dancers used to dance at our clubs, and they all had costumes, and they put on this big theatrical performance, and it's like this whole thing. And the, like, new wave of us working at these clubs, barely any of us have costumes, barely any of us really do those big shows. And I kind of straddle the line between dance things and stripper things because I have a really hard time. Sometimes my shows, I will just do it for myself, and there will be a lot of people, and I'll just have fun, and it's like so ballet, so dance, like making sure that I like have really nice fingers and lines and all of this, and then sometimes you can tell people don't care at all.
No.
And you can just go on stage and just kind of twerk a little bit and like roll around, and people will think it's great, and I think it really depends. Yeah.
And it depends on your audience. Mm-hmm. Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Also, it's way less likely for us to have big costumes because the money is not as great in Alberta as it used to be. So now none of us can really... I'm not going to spend $200 on buying a costume when I don't feel like I necessarily will get that back right away.
Yeah, it's quite an investment too. And I had mentioned this, I think in one of the episodes as well, but like no one really wants to do the big shows anymore because it's like thousands of dollars. Yeah. It's a huge investment. It's very expensive, and like it's really great when you see that. Like as a client, like if I'm coming to the club, like I think it's so awesome when I see a full show and it's just like the 5-piece set and like it's a huge production. But then when I want to just like party and chill and stuff, like I don't care too much. But it's just so different. Like I'm not sure what kind of dancer you are. You're kind of in the middle, like too. You don't really want to invest as well.
I honestly find a lot of the time just doing more casual shows but in really like cute clothes, I will make just as much as if I was wearing like a big sparkly 5-piece set, right? I think it depends on the crowd, on the day. Weekends at Boudoir is more of a party club scene, so they do want us to have sparkly, showy, fun sort of things, but at ESQ you could definitely get away with wearing more casual stuff because it's more of a casual
place to be.
Yeah, and at ESQ and at Catos you can choose your own music to dance to, which is really fun. It gets a little tiring, but for the most part it's really nice to be able, because then you can really change your music based on what kind of clothes you're wearing, what kind of costume, if you want to have a certain vibe to the room.
Show. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that, but Boudoir is supposed to be a top 40 club, so they pretty much play nothing but top 40.
Top 40s. Not the best to dance to, let's be honest, but... What about going to more like the rules and regulations and stuff too? What about quotas? Because I heard that quotas are a big thing in Alberta.
We do not have quotas.
Oh, you don't at yours?
No.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's awesome.
That's another thing that's very different between the independent girls and our clubs. We don't have those quotas. I know management is checking how many dances people sell and all of that sort of thing, but the fact that there's no mandatory. It's really nice.
It's super nice.
It's definitely a little bit more relaxing.
Yeah.
So you're not stressed about if you're selling enough dances.
Takes off the pressure, too.
It does.
For sure. Okay, for some reason I thought there were quotas. Maybe that's for the other clubs, maybe?
At the other clubs there are.
Yeah, because I've heard it's like pretty intense. And like when you go into Winnipeg, too, there's also like quotas and stuff there, too. I just wouldn't want to... I wouldn't want to personally, guys. I'm not motivated in that way because I don't like doing lap dances that much.
Yeah. I'm really excited because I'm working at the 5 this weekend, and it's so different doing contact dances compared to non-contact dances.
Totally.
It's a lot harder to sell people on non-contact dances.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that come in, oh, but in Toronto, you're allowed to touch. And I'm like...
Sorry.
Then go back to Toronto.
Yeah, sorry.
We're in Calgary. You can throw loonies at me, but you cannot touch me.
I didn't know this Calgary-wide thing, because I know in Vancouver, definitely number 5 is contact. But like Penthouse, no contact, which is what I like, because, I don't know, it's a boundary thing, and I want people touching. I'm sure I'd be okay with it, honestly. Like the one time I was dancing number 5, I just like did not tell any dancers, so I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. I honestly find at contact clubs though, they are pretty good for security and setting your own boundaries on how you feel about certain things versus, I don't know, the security at the number 5 is so good. They have someone that's watching the cameras. I feel very safe there.
Yeah.
Our clubs, they have cameras, but like there's not really that much security.
No one's really monitoring.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it's tough too because you'll get in trouble if you're like letting someone touch you. I think they fine you like 10 grand.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
like
so crazy.
they're very, very strict about it because the club could like lose their license.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's strict, no touching. How was your experience dancing number 5 so far, though? With
I
the
love
whole
it.
contact. Yeah, I love that club. Money's so good there.
It's fun. This is actually my second time.
Oh,
working
okay.
Here.
So perfect.
I was here over the summer.
There we go. How was that? Do you remember your first time, like the first time you had to do like a contact dance?
Yeah, it was really interesting. I'd never done one before, and I pretty much just sat there. I didn't even dance. The guy just felt my boobs, and I was like, okay, I guess this is a contact dance.
You're literally just like sitting there.
Yeah, I literally was just sitting there.
Were you nervous?
Is this what you do? Yeah, I was a little nervous. It's definitely so different that I was kind of unsure what it was going to be like, but I'm fine with contact dances. And
this is a boundary thing, I think, and also like a mental thing too, because like a lot of the clubs here don't offer that contact, so maybe a lot of people are just like not used to that. But that's fun. Get lots of money that way for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else are we going to talk about here? Oh yeah, we're also going to talk about how we're going to be competing against each other.
Yay!
So exciting! I am so stoked. I actually cannot wait. Our category is pretty fierce, I have to say.
Yeah, I know
so many good styles.
you, and I know Phoenix Rose, but
Yeah.
I don't think I know the other 2 girls.
I know Pia, who's also a dancer at Tantra, and I don't know who the other girl is, so now I'm just like, fuck!
Yeah,
it's gonna be fucking fire!
I know, I'm excited. I have chosen my music, but I have not started choreography.
Oh, me too? Okay, so you, me, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Honestly, when I did PSO in March, I did dramatic and exotic,
Yes.
level 3 for both of them.
It's so good, though.
Oh, thank you.
So good.
I had so long to do choreography, and I waited until the flight to Vancouver on Friday before the competition to do all my choreography. I spent the entire flight, I sat there and I wrote down all my choreography for both my routines. I went to Tantra for open pole, and I practiced both of them twice, and then I woke up the next morning, went back for an open pole, practiced them again, and then competed both of them.
You're insane!
It was pretty intense.
Sounds so stressful.
I don't want to do that again because I think level 4 is just going to be a little bit harder. And
it's really hard.
Yeah. I think level 3 was a good category to start in, but I don't think that I can just wing it for this one, especially like you and Phoenix are so good, and I'm so nervous, so...
Honestly, I think we're all in the same boat. She's like, should we train together? I haven't picked a song yet. Like, what should I dance to? I'm like, girl, like, I, like, don't have time to do this right now.
Yeah.
Because February is such a short month, and then March is going to go by so quick.
It's coming up so fast.
I think I have my song. But it's a different category. Okay, so guys, we're competing in the DTF, not down to fuck, drip, tease, flow category.
Yeah.
So, like, my understanding of this category is just, like, fluidity and, like, you know, you're moving like liquid and, you know, it's very, like, to me, like, low flow, but not low flow. Yeah. That's kind of my understanding. Is that what you're understanding?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Okay. I'm probably going to put in some pole tricks. I don't know if you have to, but I think I might try to do like one or two interesting ones. But yeah, I want to try to do a lot of floor work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it depends because like the judging is so subjective in these competitions, right? Yeah. You know, one judge can love you, the other one can hate you, and like it it can be kind of just really interesting. And all of us, I think, have very, very different styles. Like,
I agree.
This one is definitely like out of my comfort zone because I'm always kind of in between exotic and championship because I love tricks. Mm-hmm. But then, like, I was like, I'm going to challenge myself. You know, like, no one's going to be in this category. It's just going to be me experimenting, like, slowing down and, like, trying to do continuous movement. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, my God, everyone's in this one. Because I was, like, looking between this and RX, Shadow Band.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about doing that one.
Yeah. But then I was like, I don't know, it's not like a lot of description on that one.
Yeah, I had a hard time choosing if I wanted to do just one or if I wanted to do two pieces. Because me coming all the way into Vancouver, having to stay somewhere, the flights, all of that, it's kind of expensive just to do one, like, routine. And if I don't win, then it's like, came over here not to win.
Totally.
And I'm very competitive, so.
Yes. Well, at the last competition in November, Our Song Studios fucking swept the competition.
Yeah, we did pretty well. I was very impressed. I was not expecting us to.
I knew that you guys were going to be a crazy competitive studio.
Yeah. And
you guys, like, fucking killed it. Like, Mimi killed me in my category. And Jenna Alyssa is, like, another fucking story. She's going to be in the podcast, too. Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited, too. I'm just like, girl, you need to be on the show.
Yeah. She freestyled her routine.
I know. I'm like, what?
It's
like,
nuts.
Are you kidding me? But she's done so many competitions.
Yeah, she has.
We definitely competed against her in, I think we competed against each other in the CPFA in Toronto a couple of years ago, and I'm just like, and I'm done. Yeah. I'm out. I'm like, oh, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's super good. Super, super competitive. But yes, looking forward to that. Cannot wait. How did you feel? Because you did two very different styles. You mentioned you did dramatic. You also did exotic. Obviously, with your ballet background, I guess dramatic would be a fit.
Yeah.
What's your process like? Because then even just hearing like, oh, I had my choreography and I just rehearsed it like basically twice. That's like mind-blowing.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do dramatic because I wanted to bring it back to my like dance roots.
Totally.
And I kind of thought it would be a fairly easy category to choreograph and to do just because I kind of have that movement already, so it would just be kind of putting together some choreography. And then I was like, if anybody is gonna win exotic, it should be a stripper.
Absolutely.
I was like, why not both? So I did both to kind of have both of my styles that I can do in one competition, to try both of them, see if I did better in one or the other.
Right.
I'm still fairly new at exotic. As much as I've been stripping for a year, as much as I've been doing like exotic classes, I didn't do anything like that before I started.
Right, because you were doing pretty much all sorts of dance before.
Yeah, I was doing a ton of ballet, but nothing that's really that kind of sexy.
Right.
I didn't really know how to like move in that sort of sexy way, so it's really interesting taking classes, just what I learned from work, just kind of Instagram has been amazing.
It's a great resource.
Yeah. Before I started doing my first stage show though, I spend hours researching stripper moves and how to do exotic and like the leg like wavy things and all of that, and how to twerk. I practiced how to twerk for like a month.
Oh my gosh.
I just watched like videos and worked on it. I think I'm getting there. I'm working on it.
You know, like, and I have so much respect for all the strippers out there because a lot of them are self-taught too. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, how did you learn how to do all this?
Yeah, there's a lot of girls that are really proud of the fact that they're self-taught, which I think is really awesome that they're able to kind of watch things and just try to pick it up
and just learn it.
Absolutely.
Or just do it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's really impressive. It's honestly, it's a really empowering job because there's so many girls that you see them start and then the progress that they make via like from when they start until months later, and just how much new tricks they learn and how like their hustle gets better, and just I don't know, it's really interesting.
Yeah, no, seriously. And it's really hard because, like, especially, like, back in the day, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, like, there weren't any pole studios before.
Yeah.
So, like, how would you learn? You just have to learn on your own.
Absolutely. The pole community has expanded so much recently.
Yeah.
It's becoming so much more mainstream, and it's kind of fun it's fun to be part of it.
Yeah.
It's interesting that I do so much pole and that I really consider myself very much a pole dancer and all of that, but still working in a strip club, I see both sides of where I dance with a lot of people that are, not a stripper. I'm a pole dancer, not a stripper.
Right.
But then I'm also like dancing with strippers that are kind of pole dancers, right? So it's and like the fact that I'm on both sides it's really interesting to kind of hear everyone's opinions on everything.
Totally. I don't like it when like pole dancers, so people that are not in sex work are like, I can never, or like, stripper is bad, and have that outlook, because pole dancing is where it starts.
Yeah.
Stripping is the roots. It's
Absolutely.
The origin. It just seems like a little bit weird.
And I understand that sex work is not for everybody, but kind of just putting it down, it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
You don't have to like be able to do someone's job to like respect them.
Totally.
Right.
It just doesn't seem progressive to me at all.
Not at all.
Like, it just seems like backwards. And then, of course, strippers looking down at pole dancers, I can see that too. Yeah, I can totally see that too. But I think there's also some good parts of it too. There's a lot of hate on the Hustlers movie and, J-Lo and stuff. But I think it's also a good thing because, it is bringing it to the mainstream. It is making it, like, more acceptable and okay too. So I think that's a good aspect or a good perspective to look at it as well. Why can't we just all work together? God.
Right.
Why is it so hard? Okay, well, there's a couple questions here as well we can kind of go into.
Yeah.
So I guess we kind of went over this, sort of, but I don't know if you know the answers to all of these, but how many clubs are there in Alberta?
In Alberta?
I know, it's like Alberta seems like really big.
I'm not too sure. There's 4 in Calgary, 3 from my company, and then Blondie's, which is an independent company.
Right.
Yeah, I've been in there a few times. It's kind of like a sports bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have like the checkered stage and lots of TVs.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sports bar with strippers. Cool, why not?
There's Red Deer. There's 2 clubs in Red Deer and a few in Edmonton.
Have you ever danced in Red Deer or Edmonton?
I have not, but my best friend just danced in Red Deer and hated it.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no, really? Just not good conditions, or just like bad
I think
money?
it's kind of a weird place. Small town Alberta is pretty redneck, pretty rough.
Yeah, it can be, right? So maybe not. May not be in the future.
Not really my style.
No.
So I like working in Calgary, and I'll come down to Vancouver. I would like to go to Toronto and Montreal at some point.
Yeah. There's supposed to be some great clubs in Montreal and also Toronto too. And Kate Max spoke about her experiences there because she's from there, but it's structured a bit differently in Toronto as well too.
Yeah.
And dances are cheaper, but it's easier to sell and stuff too. Like there's a lot. So if you ever go, let me know, and I'll have to bring you back on the podcast. 100%. Okay, I guess you kind of touched into this as well. Do you have to be on the circuit or an independent to be a feature?
No. We pretty much, there's a whole bunch of girls, and pretty much all of us do stage shows. And then we just send our availability to our manager, and he pretty much just prints schedules for all 3 clubs. But there's enough of us girls that we all can have a few shows because there's 3 clubs, so it's all really spread out.
Nice.
But it usually goes like, I'll work 1 week at Boudoir, the next week I'll be at ESQ, the next week I'll be at Cat House, kind of alternating to all 3.
So you have a nice rotation and stuff.
And it's honestly really nice to have different clubs, but you know all the same girls, and it's the same, nothing's changing. So it's a new environment, so you can kind of restart your just like a fresh hustle, but you're still working with all the same friends, and
that's awesome. It's a pretty good structure then. That's pretty cool. Also, I guess we are recording now. You are dancing at number 5 now, but when are you going to be dancing in BC?
I would love to come back over the summer. I really would like to be here over the summer. I really want to dance at Blondie or at Brandy's.
Oh yeah, Brandy's is great. So many tricks there too. There's a different agent that runs Brandy's, but it's still technically part of Strippernet. I think Ken runs the shows there at Brandy's and stuff. So yeah, and that club is open I think like 7 days a week. Yeah. Oh,
the other club that I worked at is the Fox.
Oh, the Fox! Yeah. Oh my god, so sad.
I know. I grew up in Victoria,
right?
And it was the very first strip club I ever went to. And when I was in Vancouver over the summer, I was on my way to Victoria, and I messaged them to ask if I could come in, and they said that I could come in. And I worked there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Monday morning they shut down.
Oh,
I worked there like the last weekend they were open.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That makes me so
And I was like,
sad.
the nostalgia of being there, and then the fact that they just, all of a sudden they were closed. And I was like 1 week later, and I wouldn't have been able to work there. And it was a really fun time.
I've heard so many great things. Like, yeah, we went over that in episode 2, I think, with Asia. But there's just so much, like that club was so iconic.
It was such a great club too, and it's been around for so long, and the staff was amazing. I'm really happy I got to work there.
Yeah, and plus, like, you grew up in Victoria too, like, how was your experience dancing there?
It was interesting. It was a lot about stage shows and not really about selling dances. Right. But I didn't really get to do stage shows, so I was just selling dances, and I ended up selling way more than everyone else.
Sweet!
But no, the dances there are even more different than Calgary because they're no contact. But not only are they no contact, you sit or the customer sits in a chair, and then I dance like up on a platform.
Oh right, I did hear about this.
And they can't come any closer, and you have to dance. You're just kind of dancing on like this little stage in front of them. Versus like at least in Calgary, we can be like right over top of them, and we can get like really, really, really close. We just can't like actually touch them.
Right.
So trying to sell dances there for no contact was challenging.
That is super challenging. Oh my gosh, that's such a interesting structure. Like, oh, that just seems a bit weird.
It was, but I got to shoot with Liquid Cherry Strip.
Nice.
Shout out. Love
him.
So
yes, we also love him. Everyone's a big fan of him.
Yeah, so I would like love to work with him again if I was going to be doing shows here.
Yeah, his photography is great. Hey, I think his name's Mike or something, right? I don't remember his name, but he was supposed to be in the show, but then I'm never in Victoria, so I'm like, well, when you're in Vancouver next.
Yeah, so, fair enough.
Yeah. And I guess the last question here, best advice for dancers that are just starting out that you didn't receive when you started?
Ooh.
I mean, you did a ton of research.
Yeah, I did a lot of research. I'm pretty like type A when it comes to sort of that sort of thing, so I was not going to go in blind.
No,
but
just smart.
Honestly, I think just like being confident and just going in and just like showing up and just trying it. And I kind of found you learn pretty quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
You own it. Just gotta own it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty much it. It's not a big secret, right? So, but I guess with that brings us to the end of this episode. Yay. But before I let you go, because you got to work tonight, where can we find you?
Well, I will be at Boudoir, Rouge, and ESQ in Calgary for the next while, until I'm done school, at least. But you can probably be here over the summer, maybe somewhere else over the summer. We will see.
We will see.
Follow me on Instagram.
Yes. What's your IG?
It's Rosie, Rosie_Skies, YYC.
There we go. Any OnlyFans, Twitter?
No.
Nothing like that. Random websites here.
No.
Admire me. Everyone's like plugging all their shit. Perfect. Well, we know where to stalk you. So, yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to like, rate, subscribe, and follow, and review, and all the things. Strip by Sia, and my personal Sia stuff if you want to holla at me. And we'll catch you guys in next Sunday for another episode.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Rosie. Catch you later. You're listening to Stripped by Sia, produced and hosted by Steph Sia, aka Kimchi, music by Ted D, photography by Ian Dabern, and graphics